It is 4 p.m. We're bringing developing news.
And the stories behind the headlines, this is Storycon. I'm Regina Lay.
I'm Ed Lingao. Some stories we're watching this Wednesday, April 30. President Bongbong Marcos is ordering an investigation into Prime Water over alleged poor service and high rates, according to Palace Press Officer Claire Castro. She says that inadequate water service has no place in this administration and that consumers' needs must come first. Bulacan officials and residents have raised complaints against the Villar-owned company for its alleged failure to provide sufficient clean water.
Vice President Sara Duterte confirmed that she's received summons from the Office of the Prosecutor over an NBI complaint filed against her. Duterte did not specify which complaint the appear order stemmed from, but recalled the NBI earlier filed grave threats and inciting to sedition complaints against her. That's over her public threat to have the president, his wife, and cousin assassinated if an alleged plot to kill her succeeds. Cebu Governor Gwendolyn Garcia says she will not step down. That's despite a 6-month preventive suspension order from the Ombudsman over her issuance of a special quarry permit to a construction company without requiring proper documents. On the advice of her legal team, Garcia says she's seeking clarification from Interior Secretary John Vic Remulla on the order's legality during this election period. Garcia also says she will stay in office pending a clear response.
And President Bongbong Marcos and Japanese Prime Minister Ishiba Shigeru have agreed to start talks on military logistics and intelligence sharing deals amid China's aggressive actions. Both leaders stressed the importance of a rules-based order to counter efforts on altering status quo in the East and South China Seas. Shigeru also called for better solutions to U.S. tariff policies, citing their negative impact on global trade. And joining us today, Storycon's chill political pundit dahil mukhang chill siya ngayon.
Bago yun chill.
Bakit nga ba?
Natawa ko rin.
Hindi na subdued.
Ang init pa naman ngayon.
Hindi, malamig nga ngayon compared to the usual days
Oo nga, actually.
Diba? I'm sorry, si Ronald Llamas nga pala. I forgot to mention the name, but you know the face already, I'm sure.
And from the Philippine Star, Editor-in-Chief, Ami Pamintuan. Hi, Ami.
Hi, happy Wednesday, everybody.
Yan yung mas chill.
Ang tagal mong subdued, Ami. Hindi umihiyaw yung mga suot mo for more than a week.
Bait ako ngayon, bait. Next week.
Count on Mr. Llamas to always give the fashion statement of the day.
Parang naging part na ng rundown. Pag wala,
Siyempre,
alam mo nung wala ka, si Ed tried it, pero it fell flat eh.
Hindi kaya.
Wala eh. Parang wala.
Walang malis.
Walang malis.
Walang vexation.
So,
hindi umabot sa unjust vexation.
Intro, fashion.
Fashion critique. Okay, we have a lot of big news today.
Ako yung unjust vexation. May nagsampa pala sa akin ng kwanton.
Oo, di ba nga? Kaya nga, hindi umabot ang unjust vexation.
Si Reg ba nagsampa?
Kalimutan ko lang.
Hindi, ako pa. I can take this guy. But like I said, lots of big news today. Let's start off with President Marcos ordering an investigation into Prime Water, which, as we all know, is owned by the Villars and is currently being run by the brother of Congresswoman Camille Villar, who is Paulo Villar.
Yes, Paulo.
Parang yung dikit-dikit yan.
The timing? You're referring to the timing?
Hindi lang, dikit-dikit dahil si Camille ay in-endorse ni Sara. Medyo scarce sa mga sorties ng Alliance Administration. Tapos ay binanatan ni Claire Castro si Cynthia Villar for the increase in the price of rice dahil doon sa kanyang rice tariffication law. Tapos ngayon, itong Prime Water. No, na nakikita mo
Yes.
sa mga sorties ni Camille, sumisigaw yung mga tao na
Too
too big. So, medyo, lalo na, miyembro ng ruling coalition, yung Nationalista Party, ng mga Villar.
Yes.
So, something more deeper yung nangyayari dito sa politika na ito.
Where do the other members of the NP in the slate
Dalawa pa.
saan sila pupunta?
Pero si
Duterte.
Alan Peter
Two
kasi,
more.
member ng Nationalista.
Yeah.
Diba? Si Aimee
Si
is
Aimee.
Nationalista. So, parang buong Nationalista yung medyo may distansya. Hindi ko lang alam kung yung distansya ay isang chasm or isang maliit na hukay lang. No? Parang lumalalim yung hukay eh. No? Not only between the Villars, kundi yung buong Nationalista Party. Kung nakita mo naman si Alan Peter, talagang todo yung depensa eh.
The NP is now basically the Villars.
Kanya nga, all the other incumbent senators ay more or less ay kasama dyan sa ganyang klaseng dynamics na yan. No? At tingin ko ay going into the election, lalala pa yan. Lalo na kung talagang pagdating sa election ay wala sa sample ballot si Camille Villar.
So tingin mo saan patungo to?
Yung sample ballot.
In the next 2 weeks before the elections, and then the next 4 weeks before impeachment, saan patungo to?
Well, tingin ko ay yung fortunes ng mga Villar ay binato na nila sa mga Duterte. Ang problema lang, dahil hindi lang naman sila political family. Sila rin ay isang the biggest
Business.
corporation in the Philippines at may 3 taon pa yung presidente. That could create problems for them. No? Hindi ko sinasabi na gagamitin ng presidente yung kanyang posisyon para tugisin sila.
You're not implying
Pero wala akong ini-imply na gano'n. But in the real world, no,
You're just insinuating it.
posibleng
Pero Ronald, sino ba nauna? Sino ba nauna? Kasi
yun, no?
even before all of this, bago yung endorsement na yan, hindi ba meron na nga mga bali-balita na tinitingnan yung ilang certain businesses of the Villars eh. Sino ba nauna? Tapos later, nagsalita nga sila Cynthia and Mark na hindi naman kinikriticize pero they were lamenting the arrest of Rodrigo Duterte, di ba? Actually, earlier than that, nagsalita na rin sila tungkol doon sa impeachment din ni Sara na para daw inaape, hindi ba? Pero even before that, meron nang nababalitaan na na tinitingnan daw ng administrasyon certain businesses of the Villars. Although hindi lumaki istorya eh. Pero yun na nga, sumunod yung impeachment, tapos yung arrest. Sino bang nauna, saka baka may chismis ka dyan na kung ano talaga yung pinagsimulan niyan.
Well, even before that, last year, nakita mo naman na bumoto si Mark at saka si Cynthia dun sa resolution ba yon ni Aimee na wag padaluhin sa Senate hearing si Kibuloy. That was before he was arrested. So clearly, si Kibuloy na BFF, BFF ng mga Duterte, ay kinampihan ng mga Villar. Diba? Sabi ni Cynthia, matagal na siyang kaibigan, etc.
Kaibigan niya.
Tapos nung Senate hearing, ay malinaw naman yung pagkiling ni Cynthia kay Digong. Nagde-defer siya kay Digong during that Senate hearing. So, that was last year. Makikita mo na kung nasaan yung kanilang loyalty. Kaya yung nangyari later on, yung pagdepensa, yung pagbanat doon sa arrest ni Digong, both by Mark, the patriarch Manny Villar, si Cynthia Villar,
Alan Peter,
ay hindi nakakagulat. Tapos yung ibang membro ng nationalista like Alan Peter at saka si Aimee. Kaya parang isang bulto, isang partido, hindi lang individual members ng nationalista. Parang hindi naman tayo nag-iintriga rito, si Ed Lingaw lang.
Teka, yun ang
Pero bakit
pinagmulan.
ibang kawalan yan? Alam naman natin, napakalaking pondo niyang Villar Fund siyang nationalista mainly eh. Malaki bang mawawala sa alyansa kung sakasakali? Kasi they also have their supporters in the business community. Pero napakalaki bang dent yan kung sakasakali na mapulat. Kasi I know na meron pang dalawang nationalista apart from Pia Cayetano. May dalawa pa pakitingnan, hindi ko lang matanda kung sino. May dalawa pang nationalista in the alyansa. So, anong mangyayari doon? Kasi siyempre, kailangan mo din ng logistics, no? Especially now, the final 2 weeks, final push of the campaign.
Well, depende kung saan yung calculation nila ng political future nila nakatali. Dahil may mga kongresista rin na member nationalista. More than 20, no? More than 20 mga nationalista. Pero yung mga politiko na yan ay ikakalculate nila kung nasaan ba yung kanilang interest. Dahil alam mo naman, yung mga partido natin, nagpapalitan yan overnight yung mga membership ng mga politicians. Kaya hindi ako magugulat dahil 3 years pa yung termino ng presidente ay pwedeng mag-hemorrhage yung nationalista. Katulad ng PDP laban, the biggest party nung nagsimula yung term ni Marcos, tapos ngayon the smallest party, di ba? So,
siya yung Volkswagen party na siya.
Kaya pwedeng magbago yan, no?
Nawala yung laban.
Pwede magbago yan.
I understand why you see it in a political lens. Pero also the bigger story here is matagal na palang problematic itong prime water. We've been hearing of stories of lack of inefficiencies, service interruptions, lalo sa Batangas, Pampanga, Laguna, where they service. So Prime Water services 500,000 households across more than 100 districts. So malaki-laki yung coverage area nila.
Ang crucial lang yung timing.
Even before, we've been hearing of stories na yung mga residente kailangan gumising ng madaling araw para lang mag-igib. And then yesterday na nga, here comes Assistant Majority Leader ng House, si Jay Kong-hoon, saying he also wants to launch a full-on legislative inquiry. So I just wanted to set that context. Pero you're correct, lahat ito may question ng timing. So matagal ng problematic yung prime water as far as we can tell, or at least matagal na tayong nakakarinig na there are issues with their service. But the question is, why now?
Buti na lang, Manila Water.
Yan nga ang problema dyan Dapat pag may problemang ganyan, harapin mo kagad, di ba? Para hindi ka maakusahan na pareho din yung roll-out ng 20 a kilo rice hindi ba? Kini-question ngayon dahil nga sa timing. And why do you need to get why do you need to get clearance from the COMELEC if it's not election related, hindi ba?
Yes.
So nakikiusap ang COMELEC ngayong araw, yan ang istorya ngayon, nakikiusap, pwede bang pakidipar ng 2 linggo man lang yung rollout?
Lahat yan,
yan ang storya from the COMELEC
usapin ng timing
Timing is everything.
Katulad ng suspension ni Governor Garcia. Timing yan, di ba?
Everything is timing. The timing talaga of a lot of these things is suspect, right? So for example, coming back to prime water, si Congressman Jay Kong-hoon said, matagal na palang issue nga, like we said, itong prime water.
Yes, marami.
And nagka-meeting pala sila shortly after the pandemic, and at that time, prime water was saying may backlog sila because of the pandemic, pero hindi na-resolve. So if the pandemic was 5 years ago,
parang yung rice tarification law, matagal na yan Pero bakit last week binanatan ni Yusek Claire Castro?
bakit na-bring up ulit yung RTL?
Kaya tumataas yung pinromisa ng presidente ng 20 peso per kilo na bigas ay dahil sa rice tarification law. So meron ka ng two birds with one stone. Meron ka ng fall guy, no? At medyo binanata mo pa yung nakikita mo na nagli-lean towards your enemy.
Wala siyang ini-imply
Hindi, ang sagot naman nila, kaya daw in-imply yung sa tarification. Kasi hindi ba, Cynthia Villar was also saying na give it time to work. Kasi yun na nga, yung RCEP daw, i-roll out pa yun sa mga farmers para makita kung ano nga yung impact. Yun naman ang sinasabi yun naman ang explanation ng kabila.
Ayun kumakain na si Secretary Chula Aurel na hindi daw para sa baboy. Na ang banat ni Vice President, yung 20 pesos na per kilo na bigas ay para lang sa mga baboy.
Nasarapan kaya sila kasi wala silang ulam Napansin mo,
Oo nga.
Hindi mo pwede lagyan ng ulam para...
walang-
They're trying to show that, okay, it's good on its own, di ba?
Ikaw naman.
kahit nga masarap
Wala
na
naman
kanin.
kumakain.
Ikaw naman, ang dami mo namang
Pero-
hinihingi. Kinain na nga yung 20 peso na per kilo na bigas. Gusto mo pa,
Pero
may ulam.
anyways, ano yan, recent yan. It's either, was that
Yes,
today or
yes.
kahapon?
Yesterday.
Kahapon,
Yes,
kahapon,
yes.
yes.
Yesterday.
That's a video of Secretary Tiu Lauren eating.
Actually, sinuggest ko yan last week. Sabi ko, sinuggest ko, para sagutin yung banat na ito ay pang baboy lang.
But then it comes
Kainin
across
nila.
as
Kainin
theatrics. You know, it comes across as theatrics. Okay.
Sa atin.
Anong na...
Sa atin, sa karaniwang tao ba, theatrics yan? O ano?
You mean to say yung video niya makakapaniwala sa tao na, okay, 20 pesos a kilo rice is just as good?
Who knows? Lalo na kung si Presidente ang kakain.
Ba't di ba siya nakumbinsi?
Ba't hindi siya nakonvince? Bakit hindi
Baka
siya...
scaling up. Halimbawa, bukas, sasakay ng MRTC ko.
Bukas may ulam na.
Ay, teka.
Si Presidente may
Ba't ko
ulam.
ba?
Libre bukas.
Wala pala, chismis lang pala.
Libre na. So, itatime nila yung libre na, no? Na MRT.
Wala akong sinabi.
Ikaw
Pero siya
Labor Day yun, Labor Day.
Wala akong sinabi.
Kasi
Labor Day bukas,
Libre yung
kalimutan.
trend bukas eh. So, if you connect what he's saying, baka bukas
Hanggang
biglang
May 3.
sumampa.
O lahat naman
Libre
ng
hanggang May
theatrics
3.
eh. Ito talaga si Red Show. Sa kung kuweba ka ba nakatira? Talaga naman.
Yun yung favorite ko na banat niya. Isang kuweba ka ba na?
Theatrics naman talaga.
Ay, tika.
Ang
Election
nakakapagtaka yung
kasi, everything
yung
is-
kay Gwen Garcia, Ronald.
Oo.
Bakit gano'n na ang buong akala natin kakampi siya ng administration.
Oh, pero Ami, ang nag-suspend sa kanya ay ombudsman na hindi administration.
Yes. Ganun ba?
Hindi yun administration, na mag-retire na sa August.
Oo nga eh. Oo
Hindi
nga.
siya, hindi si PBBM ang nag-appoint yan. No?
Pero siyempre iisipin niyang si Gwen, bakit ganon?
Oo.
Alam mo naman dito.
Kaya medyo maraming angulo
Diba?
yan eh. Local politics, relasyon sa Malacanang, atake ng TDS. So maraming angulo yan. Ano ba dyan yung totoo? Yung ganyang klaseng napakaraming usok. No?
So, ano nga?
Napakaraming usok.
So, ano nga?
Kasi remember,
Hindi ko
humiwalay
alam,
siya nga
sinasabi ko lang yung usok eh.
sa ano eh. Humiwalay nga siya. We know that she was very close to the Duterte camp, no?
Yeah, yung anak niya dati was a spokesperson.
ni Sara yung...
Oo.
Oh, pero
niya
yung anak niya ngayon ay secretary
Oo.
ng tourism. At yung kanyang son-in-law
Kaya
ay
nga.
deputy speaker. So,
Yes.
hindi,
Kaya nga.
So, does
Bakit
that
ganyan?
mean-
Anong nangyari?
ibig sabihin ay kailangan siyang alagaan ng administration. Dahil ang pinakamalaking probinsya na mayroong pinakamalaking boto ay
2.7
Cebu.
million.
At practically uncontested yung si Gwen Garcia dyan. No? Ibig sabihin ay napaka-powerful niya ngayon sa buong Cebu. No? Lalo na kaalyado rin niya yung city mayor. After tanggalin yung PDP laban na pro-Duterte na mayor.
Si,
Si Rama.
Rama,
So may ganung
si Mike
klaseng
Rama.
mga angulo
Kaya
yan
nga.
eh.
Oo.
Lahat ng mga, hindi kasi ganun kasimple ang mga ang politika sa ating bansa. May mga iba't ibang kanto. Tawag ko dyan kanto eh. At,
everyone has an angle.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Lahat sila may
Oh,
angle.
ayan, makichismis tayo kay ano.
Kay
Okay.
Dale
Sa
Israel.
Cebu.
Speaking of Cebu, let's get out to our One News Cebu desk. We have Dale Israel with us, who covered a press conference with Governor Gwen kanina. Dale, anong balita, anong latest dito sa issue?
Hi, Dale.
Hi Dale,
Yes,
good
Regina.
afternoon.
Yes,
Long time no see ah.
Oo nga.
Yeah, good afternoon. Good afternoon to all of you there at Storycon. A few moments ago, we had a press conference here. Actually, I'm here at the governor's office. So we had a press conference for the suspension of Governor Gwen Garcia, the 6-month preventive suspension. So a few weeks before the election, it's a very surprising twist here in Cebu because the ombudsman has preventively suspended Cebu Governor Gwen Garcia for 60 days. It is something surprising because most of those that got suspended that we know of are mostly not allies of the administration. Yesterday, a staff from Ombudsman in Manila flew all the way to Cebu to serve the 6-month preventive suspension order of Governor Garcia. She handed a copy to the secretary and posted a copy at the door at the governor's office. The suspension order is for violation of Republic Act 6713, or the Code of Conduct and Ethical Standards for public officials and employees, grave abuse, gross misconduct, serious dishonesty, and gross negligence, among others. These accusations by complainant Moises Garcia Di Parine over the issuance of a quarry permit in a protected area, specifically along the Mananga River. Di Parine alleged in his complaint that Garcia issued special permit number 2024-09 to Shalom Construction Incorporated on May 14, 2024 without an environmental compliance certificate nor a certificate of non-coverage issued by the Department of Environment and Natural Resources and the permits from the Protected Area Management Board. Di Parine is, here in Cebu, Di Parine is a known supporter of former President Rodrigo Roa Duterte. He founded in Cebu the motorcycle group Duterte Riders Team, or DRT, who also have quite a huge membership here in Cebu. In the press conference this afternoon, Governor Garcia said she will not step down from office pending query from the Secretary of the Interior and Local Government, John Vic Rimulya, on the suspension order, since it is the DILG that implements the order from the Ombudsman. Particularly, Garcia cited the provision on the Omnibus Election Code, which prohibits suspension orders during the campaign period or 45 days before the elections. During the press conference also, a while ago, Garcia only took a few minutes to face the media because she will be doing activities in southern towns of the Manhog and the southern tip of Cebu in the town of Santander. Garcia said she will continue to serve as governor of the province pending the query from the ILG. Lawyer Alex Avisado, the lead counsel of Governor Garcia, said that the Ombudsman Samuel Martinez may have been misinformed or misled, saying the contractor had quarry activities. What happened in 2024 was actually a desiltation or dredging of the Mananga River so that the water from the river will be able to flow into the Haklupan Dam, which supplies the water to the Metro Cebu cities. The governor made the decision to fast-track the desiltation process because Cebu was experiencing a water crisis during that time. This was during the worst dry spell last year during El Nino, where Haklupan Dam has lost nearly half of its water supply, or only half of its water supply is available for MCWD, or the Metro Cebu Water District. The lawyers also said that they knew for a fact that the area in Mananga watershed was a protected landscape, so they had a permit from the Protected Area Management Bureau and even have an environmental compliance certificate from the DNR. They showed these copies at the press conference a while ago, and that's contrary to the complaint filed by Moises Di Parine. So all the lawyers were unanimously wondering how the Ombudsman have ordered a suspension since there was an ECC and there was no quarrying operation. Back to you guys.
Dale, maganda yung paliwanag mo, no? Very basic para maunawaan ng mga tao ano yung nangyayari. Pero from your vantage point, anong tingin mo sa politika na yan? Sa timing, halimbawa. Kanino ba politically identified yung nagsampa ng kaso? Dahil yung ombudsman kasi ay appointed yan ni Digong at very critical yung timing nung pagsampa ng kaso.
But actually sinabi na niya na yung complainant is a known supporter of Duterte, and in fact he started Duterte Riders Team? Team ba yun?
That's
DRT.
correct. Yeah.
DRT.
That's correct.
So 1 plus 1 equals 2? Or 3?
That's correct. He founded this. Moises Di Parine founded the Duterte Riders Team, or DRT, here in Cebu, and I guess there are DRT chapters in other provinces as well.
Okay. Dale, a question lang kasi I'm looking up the Omnibus Election Code. O tama nga, may prohibition sa suspension of local elective officials without prior authority from the COMELEC. So you need COMELEC authority for that. Except, ito may exception except in cases involving violation of the Anti-Graft and Corrupt Practices Act. Tama ba? Is that one of the assertions that she violated the Anti-Graft and
That's
Corrupt
why there's
Act?
an exemption.
I don't know if that's where the provision is, but
Section
the
261
complaint was for Republic Act 7613. The complaint, according to the lawyer,
That's the Sigisag Law. 6713.
6713. Yes, and it doesn't need COMELEC. I mean, it needs COMELEC approval when it's about 6713.
6713.
And
But 6713 lang
ones
ba?
that-
Dil, that's the code of conduct for public officials the sagisag
Yes.
6713. Pero maliban sa
Draft,
6713 ba, meron pa bang ibang sinampang kaso against Governor Garcia like anti-graft law or anything like that?
the other graft law of the
The anti-graft law.
901. I'm not really familiar, but that's the only case that was pending in the ombudsman,
Okay.
and that was the case that was served here at the governor's office on the suspension order.
Yung 6713. Okay.
Yan.
Okay.
Okay.
Pero yung code of conduct is related to graft eh.
Yeah. Pero kasi may
Karamihan dyan sa
specific.
violation dyan are anti-graft provisions.
Yeah.
Okay.
Net, ang tanong ko lang, Dale, ano ba talagang alliances ngayon ng mga Garcia? Kasi of course, we know na Cristina Frasco is a cabinet member, pero yung si Gwen Garcia has been allied with the Dutertes for a very long time. Baka naman merong suspetsa. Well, yun ang speculation dito na yung administration may nakikitang hindi full yung loyalty ba is questionable. Meron bang ganon na lumalabas dyan?
And we're not really sure. We cannot speculate on that. But what we know for a fact that last week, President Bongbong Marcos was here in Cebu. Just about last Tuesday was to announce that the 20 peso kilo rice. And tomorrow, actually, the governor said that she will be launching the 20 pesos per kilo rice tomorrow here at the Capitol. Although she will not be here because it is not allowed by the COMELEC.
That's a very good point about 20 pesos a kilo rice. Ang alam namin is sa Visayas lang siya available. And
May 1.
on May 1, tomorrow.
May 2 roll out sa NCR Kadiwa stores ata or nationwide Kadiwa stores.
Hindi siya matutuloy.
Cebu lang and also it will only be sold to 4P senior citizens, PWD, until mabigyan ng COMELEC exemption. But in any case, the fact that sa Cebu lang for now available is meaningful. Right? Yung 20 pesos
Especially
kilo.
since
Yes.
Ayun na naman tayo.
Especially in the light of the surveys hindi. Kasi LinkedIn yun bagsak siya dyan, di ba?
Oo. We'll let you know.
Diyan, mababa yung trust and approval ratings ni President Marcos eh. So yun na nga tatanong ko kay Dale. Baka naman merong ganyang klaseng sisihan dyan na bakit ang baba-baba ng suporta ng administrasyon dyan? Wala nang kasalanan dyan yung mga Garcia. Wala na sila magagawa dyan.
Well, we can really see on the ground that most of here in Cebu are Duterte supporters. We can see
Duterte
them,
pa rin siya.
yes, in Cebu because of actually Cebuanos are really regionalistic and Duterte speaks Bisaya, Cebuano. So most of Cebuanos here are supporters of the former president.
That's also a good point.
Traditional bailiwick naman nila yan.
Okay. We'll leave that there. We'll let you go. Thank you so much for your reporting. One News Cebu Desk, Dale Israel. Salamat.
Thank you.
Salamat, Dale.
Thank you, Dale.
You're watching Storycon on One News. We just need to take a very quick break. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
This is the Story Conference Group or the Storycon Group.
We've got developing news and the stories behind the headlines. Welcome back to Storycon, the Story Conference. I'm Ed Lingao.
And I'm Regina Lay. Still with us, Ami Pamtun of the Philippine Star and Ronald Llamas, our resident political pundit. Let's bring in our guest for the day, National Bureau of Investigation or NBI Director Jaime Santiago. Welcome back to Storycon. Director Jimmy, can you hear us okay?
Hi, sir.
Good afternoon po sa inyo at sa mga nakikinig sa atin.
Magandang hapon, Director.
Good afternoon,
Hi,
Director.
Director.
Ay, good afternoon po, ma'am. Sir.
Direct, makibalita siguro kami muna. Ano latest dun sa Chinese na nahuli kahapon? Have we found out kung ano exactly ang kanyang gamit?
Nahuli sa near Comelec premises with
may IMSI catcher daw.
IMSI catcher, mobile catcher.
Yes, sir. Ma'am, ano po, actually, may natanggap kami na info regarding this fellow. At nagkundak na nga kami ng surveillance, sinusundan siya lagi ng aming mga ahente. And on the this fourth day yata, namataan na siya uli sa vicinity ng Comelec building sa Intramuros. So, 4 times po siyang umikot-ikot doon, pumarada, pumarada. Kada parada niya ay 30 minutes. So, nung aalis na siya, mga 4 times, inaresto na po namin. Inakos na po namin. At ayun nga, positive ang operation. Mayroong nakamount sa kanyang kotse na IMSI catcher. Ayun, kaya he was immediately placed under arrest.
Linawin ko lang, Director, itong alleged spy na ito, ay na-monitor nyo lang during yung kanyang operation sa Comelec or person of interest na siya even before yung kanyang Comelec operation?
No. Sinusundan na po siya. According to my agent, sa mga 4 days na, 5 days na siyang sinusundan. At yun nga ang coaching gamit niya, inuupahan niya lamang. Inuupahan niya na 8,000 a day. Pero nag-mount siya doon ng IMSI catcher.
Director, anong capability ba niyang machine na yan? Ngayon, hindi namin kasi sabi, merong mga joke na in-order lang daw yan doon sa Lazada. Ano bang capability niya? Kung sakasakali, pwede ba niyang manipulate yung mga data na nakukuha ng Comelec? Ano bang kakayahan niyang machine na yan?
Hindi po ma-manipulate, kundi
Intercept.
kukuha niya po yung data, yung mga usapan, yung mga data, makukuha niya po, pero hindi niya kayang baguhin yung manipulate yung data natin. For example, ma'am, dito sa NBI, dito pumarada yan. Mamomonitor niya yung mga usapan namin, yung mga aarestuhin namin, yung mga operation namin, mamomonitor niya. Ganun po yun. At hindi namin malalaman yun dahil wala namang physical na mangyayari sa aming mga data, sa aming mga machine, sa mga gadget namin. Wala naman pong mangyayari. Kundi, na-siphon nila yung mga information na dapat kami lamang nakakaalam.
Parang walang indication. Walang indication na nakatap na sa inyo.
Opo, sir.
But Comelec Chair George Garcia said wala naman daw nakuhang sensitive data. Is that correct?
Maaari po. Yung sa amin naman ay actually, lahat ng data makukuha niya lahat ng messages Ultimo yung ilang ba may nakikipag-date na official doon, nakuha na niya lahat
Sorry sir, clarify ko lang. Sabi niya, in relation to the elections, wala naman daw sensitive data na makukuha because there are no servers or any information systems in the main office of Comelec. So,
yes ma'am, hindi lang naman po nga yung ganoon na information. Lahat ng klaseng information pagka tinapatan ka ng IMSI catcher.
Sir, do we have already an idea of the nature of this person that you arrested? Is he here as a tourist? Is he here as a worker? Or is he illegally here?
Yes, sir. Ano po, yung tao po ay may holder ng Chinese visa, ay Chinese passport, at ang visa niya dito ay tourist.
Mhm.
Ganun po. Ngayon, in-counter ay tinactical interrogation namin. Inaalam ko kung saan siya connected dito. Basta sinasabi niya lang lagi, tourist siya.
But how does he explain the machines found in his car? I mean, as far as, at least yung sinasabi niya sa inyo, ano yung kanyang claim? Anong kanyang pahayag kung bakit daw siya may ganung makina sa kanyang kotse?
Wala po siyang ayaw other than na sabihin niya na siya ay tourist, kumukuha lang siya ng mga pictures, ganyan-ganyan. Wala na po siyang in-admit sa amin, ayaw niya na magsalita ng kahit ano pa man. Sinabihan po namin siya ng Miranda rights, we can secure the services of the council, pero ayaw niya. Ganun po.
Director, hindi naman pang picture taking yung machine na yan, ano? Cellphone lang, makakakuha ka na ng picture. Pero similar ba to sa ano? Similar ba to dun sa machine na nakuha dun sa ano? Hindi ba may inaresto na rin kayo? Yung nag-iikot naman sa Mekrame ba yun? O ano? Pareho ba yan?
Yes, ma'am. Oo. Marami na kaming MC catcher dito. Inaano na po namin, forensic examination, kung anong mga data, kung anong nakuha noon, nasagap noon, ganun po.
Baka sabihin
Saan ba
na naman ng
nabibili
ating
yan?
mga
Bakit
kaibigan na
ganon?
Filipino-Chinese businessmen na yan ay legitimate businessman daw. Baka sabihin na naman nila yon.
Kaya nga, saan ba nabibili ang ganyang machine?
Ma'am, ano po ito kumbaga pyesa-pyesa na ipapasok nila unti-unti, hindi naman natin naiintindihan kung isang part dinala, and then another part dinala, and then inassemble nila. Yung initial investigation namin, inassemble na lang po dito yan.
Oh, okay. So may ganun palang capability.
Okay.
But
So, hindi siya in-order na machine buo na, hindi pala ganon. Kasi yun ang ganong lokohan Pwede daw orderin lang online doon sa Timo o ano.
Yeah.
Hindi po. Merong mga part na ma-order sa Lazada, pa ano. Meron. Tapos pagka inassemble nila, ay magiging MC catcher.
Sir, we have to move on to another topic now kasi maubusan tayo ng oras. But we wanted to talk to you about yung summons daw kay Vice President Sara Duterte. Sabi niya nakatanggap siya ng summons, although she didn't say over what charges, but she said it's in relation to the charges that the NBI filed against her. Confirm ko lang na she did receive summons, and was it related to the inciting to sedition and grave threat charges that was filed against her earlier this year?
Maaari po. At yun lang naman ang na-file namin sa DOJ way back January pa. So matagal ang pag-aaral na ginawa ng DOJ before conducting preliminary investigation. Yun pong subpoena na natanggap ni VP Sara ay para sa preliminary investigation at bibigyan siya ng pagkakataon ng DOJ na sagutin yung aming mga paratang.
Sir, so summons pa lang po ito, no? Hindi pa naman ito, is she required to appear? Is she required to appear or can she send her lawyer, kumbaga?
Yes, sir. Pwede po siyang magsama ng lawyer niya, bibigyan siya ng kopya ng reklamo namin.
Opo. No, I mean, sir.
At bibigyan siya ng pagkakataon na sagutin yun.
No, sir, what I mean, sir, is is she required to appear or can she just send a lawyer to represent her?
Dapat po, umapir siya doon. Depende po sa investigating prosecutor kung papayag na lawyer lang, and then she will just submit her counter affidavit.
Okay.
On a different topic, Director, tungkol dun sa mga spies na hinuli sa China, yung 3 bata na member daw ng Philippine Spy Agency. Hindi ko alam kung saan hinugot yun. Pero kung sakali, Director, na sabihin ng China na palit ulo, no? Papalayain namin itong mga hinuli namin ng mga Filipino spies sa China, ay meron bang, paano ginagawa yan? May legal ba dyan, hindrance, na yung ating mga nahuli na spy ay pwedeng gano'n na lang, pwedeng ipagpalit dun sa mga allegedly nahuli ng spiya?
alam nyo yung mga nahuli namin na mga Chinese na dito, kung todo meron silang gadgets. No? Mga mamahalin itong gadgets na ito na ang Pilipinas hindi naman makakagastos ng ganun.
Correct.
Wala tayong intelligence agency na lumalabas sa ating bansa. Wala tayong kakayahan at hindi natin na kayang gawin yung ganun. Kaya yung mga hinuli nila ay talagang may pagtatanggol natin yun na yung pantay na pagturing lamang ng batas. Ganun po. Naniniwala kami na ma-absento natin yung mga Pilipino natin, kapwa natin Pilipino na yun.
Malinaw yun, Director. Pero iba kasi yung sistema sa China eh. One-party state yan eh. One-party government. Diba? Pero kung sabihin nila yan ay spy, kahit malinaw, hindi naman, ay medyo limitado yung ating magagawa. Ang tanong ko, Director, paano kung sabihin nila na, sige, papakawalan namin ito, pero pakawalan nyo yung mga nahuli niyong espiya?
Palitulo.
Posible ba yon yung ganong klaseng palitulo? Paano? It's not a question of legality para sa kanila eh.
Ay, yung ganyan pong level na ng
pakikipag-usap.
Medyo ano na yan, sir, medyo hindi na sa level ko. Hindi ko kaya na makipag-usap ng palitulo sa kanila. Higher level na yan. Siguro between DFA na sa kanila. Higher pa. Opo.
Director, balikan ko lang si VP Sara. Kasi dati sabi mo, iimbestigahan mo rin yung claim niya na may death threat sa kanya. May nangyari ba yun? May kinalabasan ba yung investigation yon?
Ay, yun nga po. Gusto ko sana maimbestigahan din yun. Masabi niya sa amin kung paano siya na-threat, sino bang iniisip niyang na-threat. Yung kanya ay puro pahayag lamang sa media. So wala kaming concrete evidence na para magsampa ng kaso in her behalf. Hindi katulad nung threat niya doon sa kay PBBM, kay First Lady at kay Speaker, pinangalanan niya talaga at sinasabi niya no joke. Yung samantalang yung threat na sinasabi niya sa sarili niya, ay hindi naman siya nakipag-cooperate sa amin para maimbestigahan yun.
In relation to that, Director, today yung Lakas CMD asked the NBI to investigate itong issue over Oplan Horus, which is supposedly a document laying out a plan to take down the Dutertes. So, dininay na ng Lakas CMD and other officials na they have anything to do with that, this supposed document that was leaked. Ano pong latest doon?
Ayun nga po, nabasa ko na rin po sa dyaryo na they will tap the National Bureau of Investigation to investigate that matter. But then, wala pa po kaming natatanggap na formal request from them para pumasok kami dyan at investigahan namin yung bagay na yan.
Okay. So at this point, wala pa pong formal request. Okay. Sinabi lang po ni so far, we found that out through House Leader Congressman Manix Dalipe pa lang. Siya pa lang yung nagsabi na they will ask the NBI to investigate. Kasi nga na-implicate din siya.
Okay.
Okay.
Maraming salamat.
We'll leave that there. Thank you so much for joining Storycon today. NBI Director Jimmy Santiago. Salamat po.
Thank you, sir.
Salamat, Director.
Salamat
Thank
po.
you,
Salamat
Director.
po sa inyo. Salamat po.
Ang daming investigations. They've got their plates full, no?
Hindi ba, Teki ka? Kaya mo bang mag-assemble ng ganon? Yung ano yung catcher na yun?
IMSI
Kaya mo
Catcher.
ba?
It's also called a cell site
IMSI.
simulator or a stingray.
Madali bang gawin yon?
Kaya ko yung
Madali
gawin sa
bang-
talyer.
Bakit ganon?
Talyer lang yun, pwede nang gawin yun.
Hindi, ang ibig
Hindi
sabihin
kasi
yun,
si Ed Teki Madali bang i-assemble yon?
Hindi, yung IMSI Catcher, iba yun. That's one module na. Pag sinabi yung i-assemble, I suppose what he means is, for example, power supply, hard disk, hard disk for you to store the data. Yun ang i-assemble mo, yun ang put together mo. Pero yung IMSI
Kaya
Catcher
nga,
itself is
madali
one
bang gawin
module.
yun?
Iba ba yung
Madali
sa
ba
rat
yung nakita
catcher?
na yun sa kotse? Madali ba yun? Parang bakit gano'n? Nakakadalawa na tayo. Madali
As early as
madali bang gawin
as early
yun?
as 15 years ago, I came across somebody selling, I don't know if that's the same thing they call it eh. Yung parang ganyan, pero parang ganyan din, except that it's also a cell site simulator, but it's also able to transmit. So pwede siya mag-text blast kahit
Ito nga
hindi
yung
ka registered.
nag-intercept.
Yeah.
This is the one that hijacks the cell site of telcos. That's why sometimes
Yeah.
you get a scam message via their account, right?
Siguro mahalaga na yung gobyerno, NBI, i-deconstruct yan at ipaliwanag in layman's term. Ano bang pwedeng gawin ito? No? Bakit COMELEC? No? Anong ibig sabihin yan? I-manipulate ba yung next election? No? So, ganun yung para maunawaan ng mga tao. Katulad ng mga Neanderthals katulad ko. Para saan ba yung rat catcher na yan? No?
Rat catcher.
May ganun talaga
Nobody calls it.
self-deprecating na nahirit eh.
Or mahalaga rin.
Naniniwala sa iyo.
Or mahalaga rin.
Yung self-deprecating mo nahirit.
Halata.
Hindi bagay yung self-deprecating sa kanya. Yung ba yung sinasabi mo?
So, tsaka
Kasi mukhang mahal di ba?
Yeah, mahal talaga yan.
Mukhang mahal yung
Mahal talaga yan.
machine
But
Di ba?
the one I saw from 15 years ago, nasa suitcase lang.
Oo.
Pero parang ang laki, no?
tingnan mo,
Parang,
laki-laki,
di ba, kaya na yun na maliliit?
Oh, may
That's what I'm saying. Parang medyo,
versions than that.
Parang isang buong kotse.
Pero kasi, I can imagine na iba-iba ring
it's very amateurish. Hindi ba?
Oh, parang
So that's why sometimes you have to ask,
Diba?
spy ba talaga to? Because it's very
Pag
amateurish,
binuksan
right?
mo yung kotse, alam mo kagad eh,
Exactly,
di ba?
mahuli ka pa right outside the COMELEC premises. Parang,
Hindi mo lang takpan ng
parang it
propaganda.
doesn't add up din. Oo.
Lalagyan ng
Pero
mga stoplight
aanin mo
sa
naman
likod.
yan. Why will you put something like that in your car? Aanin mo naman yan, lalo na kung turista ka lang naman.
Saka
Kukuha ka
bakit
ng picture,
paikot-ikot
gumamit ka na lang ng
sa
cellphone.
isang secure area, like the COMELEC,
Yeah.
dahil election, paikot-ikot ka several times.
Kasi
talagang
maraming CCTV
lang,
doon
mamomonitor
naniniwala.
ka na eh.
May video
Oo,
yan.
sa bagay. That's also true.
Actually, you can just, may parking naman sa may cathedral eh, so you don't really have to go.
Kami kasi
Kung turista
Ayun
ka,
na, wait. Ayun
Kami kasi
kasama ko.
kaming mga tunay na espiya, hindi mo malalaman na minomonitor namin isang lugar.
Pero,
Kaya nga kami espiya eh.
Kaya nga
We can hide in plain sight.
Kaya nga sa
can hide in-
International Man of Mystery.
Yun ang nature ng espiya.
pero konting tanong
Eh,
lang,
kaso may dala-dala
konting
siyang
press
machine.
lang, buibigay din to. Yun yung weakness ni Ronald. So, kulitin mo lang, ano yung pinag-usapan
Konting
niyo?
kiliti lang. Kumakanta.
Kumakanta din. Okay,
Ang gulo niya, tapatusin natin ng Wednesday na para lumapit ng Friday.
May 1 na tomorrow.
Oo.
12
Uy,
days
Labor
to
Day.
go.
Happy Labor Day.
Happy Labor Day.
Sa mga uring manggagawa.
Happy-
As kamao.
Happy Labor Day.
Uring manggagawa.
Wala ako
Wala pa rin
tomorrow.
silang wage increase. Pero meron silang libreng MRT.
MRT.
Tomorrow.
LRT.
Bukas. Di ba
Nagsimula today.
parati naman libre pag...
Nagsimula today.
Tatlong
Simula ngayon,
araw. Tatlong araw
So,
siya.
naman, minamaliit mo eh.
It's all... Timing is everything. Di ba nga
Nag-umpisa
sabi
ngayon
natin?
yung libre ngayon.
Timing is everything.
Today, nag-umpisa.
Hoy, mag-goodbye na nga kayo.
Okay, thank you so much for joining Storycon today. Ami Pamituan, Editor-in-Chief of the Philippine Star, and Ronald Llamas, a resident political mystery.
Mystery man.
Sabi nga ni Ed. Join us again tomorrow, 4 p.m. for Storycon. I'm Regina Lay.
I'm Ed Lingao. We are One News, all sides, all the time.
This is the Story Conference Group or the Storycon Group.